It's the final chapter in the original Star Wars trilogy. This is Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, directed by Richard Marquand. Welcome back to ADP Reviews, everyone, as we continue our Star Wars review marathon. Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. To me, Return of the Jedi encapsulates everything I love about Star Wars into one movie. From what I've discovered, however, people in recent years seem to label Return of the Jedi as overrated or not that good. Is there any truth to this? In many respects, Empire is so lauded by Star Wars fans as the greatest that there seems to be no way that Jedi could be better. On the other hand, though, I think Return of the Jedi is not only action-packed, but also has some of the deepest moments of character development in the series. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's look at the story. Luke Skywalker has returned to his home world of Tatooine to rescue the frozen Han Solo from the clutches of the vile crime lord Jabba the Hutt. All the while, the Empire has nearly completed construction on a second Death Star, orbiting the forest moon of Endor. But this time, the Emperor himself is overseeing its construction. The plot is thickened even more as Darth Vader continues to reach out to Luke, beckoning him to the dark side. Will the Alliance succeed and take down the Empire once and for all? Will Luke Skywalker redeem the fallen Darth Vader, or will he join Vader on the dark side? As I said before, Return of the Jedi seems to be getting less love from fans as time goes on. Is it warranted? Let's look at the good stuff. For one thing, the addition of the Emperor makes this film so much better. We never saw this guy outside of a hologram in the previous film, so aside from being an ominous, creepy figure, we knew nothing. In this film, we don't get any real backstory, but Ian McDiarmid brings a presence to him that just oozes with atmosphere and evil. It's just chilling to watch. Not only that, but he shows himself in the third act to be anything but the frail old man he portrays himself as. Second, the effects in this film look the best out of the original trilogy. I know that I said Empire had the most consistently great effects, but in terms of the size, scale, and believability of the effects, both digital and practical, Return of the Jedi takes the cake, especially in the opening scene. The build-up to Darth Vader's reveal is unbelievable. You can tell just from the look on the officer's face that Vader is not in a good mood. Third, this movie is fun. It is a fun movie. What do I mean by this? Well, Empire Strikes Back is a great movie, but it's not exactly a pleasant watch. Everyone fails and everything goes wrong, and it ends on such a bittersweet cliffhanger. It's a great movie, but it doesn't really leave you feeling like you just watched a fun space adventure. Return of the Jedi has some dark stuff in it, and it doesn't shy away from the mature moments. But the music, the lighting, the action, everything about this movie has an underlying layer of fun to it. The sail barge assault, for example, is such a blast to watch. Our heroes are in danger, but you know they have everything under control. Fourth, the dynamic between Luke and Vader is the greatest part about this movie for me. Spoiler alert, Vader is Anakin Skywalker, the father of Luke Skywalker. With this earth-shattering revelation, Luke has a new goal. He doesn't want to kill Vader anymore. He senses the good inside of his father and wants to bring his father back to the light side of the Force. Now it's an internal struggle between father and son. Both want the other to join their side, but both are remaining unmoved. You can tell that Vader is tortured. Unlike A New Hope and Empire, where Vader is an unshakable force of evil, here he's complex. He's battling with himself. You get the feeling that he would want nothing more than to leave the Empire and go with his son. But at the same time, he's become twisted and evil, and he's still a slave not only to the Emperor, but to the dark side. Luke, on the other hand, is struggling with his own inner darkness. From the moment you see him in this movie, you see that he's different, especially in his attire. He's dressed all in black, very unlike a Jedi, and he's using powers far more in line with Vader. You get the sense that he's just a slight push away from the dark side, and this is revealed in my favorite scene, not only in the movie, but in all of Star Wars.
If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
I love this scene. Everything about it is 100% perfect. The lighting, the shadows, the acting, the camera work, the music, it all tells a story. Luke is slipping here. After Vader threatens to go after Leia, who, spoiler, is Luke's sister, Luke flies at him in a rage. Here, we see him slipping closer and closer to the dark side. It all comes to an explosive head when he disarms Vader, and we come to the crossroads of Luke's destiny. Will he strike him down or remain in the light? It's visual poetry. I love it so much. So why do so many people complain about this movie? Well, I'd be lying if I said I didn't know why. First off, the film is kind of a mess in terms of the story. The stuff with Luke and Vader is great, but on the other hand, we rehash the Death Star plot from the first film. Along with that, Luke's plan to rescue Han makes very little sense when you get down to it. The Emperor allows the Alliance to know the location of the shield generator when he could have sent them to a planet where thousands of stormtroopers were waiting for them. Obi-Wan's explanation for why he never told Luke about his father is kind of forced, as well as the explanation of Leia being Luke's sister. It's all really kind of jumbled, especially when compared to the tight-knit writing of Empire. Also, some of the actors kind of phone in their performances. Harrison Ford in particular. It's said that Harrison Ford was reluctant to play Han Solo again, seeing as how he felt Han Solo's story was complete already, and it kind of shows in his acting here. Not only is he given less to work with, but he seems kind of bored playing the role in this one. He just seems to be checked out half the time. Also, if you thought the Empire was incompetent in the first two movies, brother, they're downright morons in this one. I mean, they still have some cool moments like on the speeder bikes, but one of these highly trained soldiers gets tricked by a haha look over here prank. Also, it doesn't help that in terms of special edition changes, this one was hit the hardest. The dance scene in Jabba's palace, the eyes on the Ewoks, just a lot of stuff got changed up in the special editions, and it really doesn't add to any enjoyment here. But of course, the biggest complaint of this film is the Ewoks. There is no easy way to say this, but the Empire gets defeated by teddy bears. Now personally, I never hated these guys. I thought they were fine. I even thought they were kind of cute when I was a kid. But when you realize that originally they were supposed to be Wookiees, you realize how ridiculous this scenario is. Doug Walker over at Channel Awesome even posed an idea that I thought would have been really cool. A lot of people think that the scenes in Jabba's palace and on Tatooine go on too long. So, what if after escaping the Rancor in Jabba's palace, the heroes escape without destroying Jabba and his men? Then, on Endor, Jabba and his men come back, track our heroes down, only to be caught between the rebellion and the Empire, forcing Jabba and his forces to team up with the rebels to take on the Empire. It could have tied together all the threads nicely. But instead, we get 3-foot Ewoks taking down a legion of the Empire's best forces. So, do these problems make the film good or bad? Well, I think it's complicated. I personally feel that for every problem with the film, there's something great that makes up for it. And the problems that exist, I don't really think are that bad. Maybe we spend too long with Jabba the Hutt, but I like Jabba. He's a really cool villain, and we get some incredible scenes on Tatooine, like the Rancor and the sail barge scene. So what if we have another Death Star? Big deal. I mean, it makes sense. How would you top a giant ball that explodes planets if you were the Empire? So the story is a little messy, but at least it's fun. You have a good time watching it. For me, the best stuff is with Luke and Vader, and the Emperor. That's really where the focus of the story is, and that's where it needs to be. Return of the Jedi is what I feel Star Wars films need to be above anything else. Fun. They need to be fun. You can be dark and gritty too, but you need moments of levity and lightheartedness that make it a satisfying experience. To me, Return of the Jedi is not only a satisfying experience, but one I can pop in anytime. I give Star Wars Return of the Jedi 4.5 stars out of 5. It's a fun, action-packed blast from start to finish, and one I will definitely return to. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned as the Star Wars Review Marathon continues.